The following episode may contain sensitive content. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, all.
Hello!
Hi. Yikes.
You like my Chewbacca hello?
Oh my god.
That was not
That was
Chewbacca.
something else.
Man. Well, that's why I'm an unemployed actor.
That was definitely not Chewbacca. That was something for sure.
Well, welcome, listeners. This is the show Must Go On. I am Giovanni.
I'm Tracey.
And I'm Nikki, and that was a crazy segue right there.
Yes, it was.
Terrible Chewbacca. Hi,
Yes.
everybody.
We are your favorite podcast where we waste your time to judge ourselves and others.
We love it here. We really
love
like
it.
judging.
Waste of time?
We do.
Never.
It's
Talk
definitely
about
not
our favorite.
there's nothing that I like better than, just sitting, talking to my friends, shit about people,
Mm-hmm. We like talking
and like
shit.
judging, Well,
I mean, I can tell our listeners are probably sitting there, glass of wine,
yeah.
taking a bath.
Yeah.
Right.
Or,
You know?
doing some chores. I like to listen to podcasts.
They're making their bed,
Yes.
putting their laundry away,
That's me right
Clipping
now.
their
scrubbing a
toenails,
toilet,
You know,
cutting your toenails, painting them.
That's so
Painting down.
specific, Joe.
it is. It is. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta
I've done that before.
do. Right.
Oh, man.
How's everyone's week?
Good. I actually watched a lot of things on TV this past weekend, and I actually wrote some things down that
I'm
I
jealous.
also saw that I wanted to share with you guys. Wait, so what do you mean you're jealous? You didn't get to watch anything, Joe?
No, I've been working like a maniac and studying for my real estate exam.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I did watch one thing. I gave myself me time on, I think it was Monday night.
Not on the weekend?
No, not on the weekend.
Oh my gosh. I feel like my me time is unwinding on the weekdays, but then me time is on the weekends.
No, it was like Monday night. I was like, I'm just going to
Chill.
really sit down and chill. And I
Yeah.
did it Monday night. But what were you going to share with us?
Okay, so this is really exciting. I saw this 2 days ago. So there is a new I Know What You Did Last Summer that's gonna come out July 18th, 2025.
Okay.
Ay, Giovanni,
need to
such
hear
a
about it.
Debbie Downer.
I'm a Debbie Downer because they renewed it. I don't know, was it last year, the year before? They tried to make it into a series, and it looked so bad. So,
Well, this
I
is
just-
the movie, and they're using the
Okay.
pictures of Jennifer Love Hewitt. They're using the pictures of the original cast, and it's
Good.
gonna be a movie, and it's gonna be released July 18th. It has a release day already, so that means they're
Good.
probably wrapped up filming. I did not
Good.
look up anything else. I was like, I'm just gonna be happy with this information. Because I really like that movie, the original one. I think it's so freaking funny. Now,
I just have high expectations.
Funny.
yeah, Giovanni, per usual. Now, we also, I also saw on Instagram, it was called, this movie, the Furiosa Mad Max saga. It got an 88 on Rotten Tomatoes. 88.
Furiosa?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is really exciting because, with those movies, I'm I don't think, I'm never sure of, how I feel about them. So
Yeah.
and Kinds of Kindness got a 93 on Rotten Tomatoes.
I've never
Which
heard
is
of
that no, it's the new movie that hasn't come out yet. It's with Emma Stone, with Margaret Qualley, you know, all this A-list actors.
Jesse Plemons.
Oh, I heard of that one.
Yes.
Yorgos.
Yeah.
Whatever his face is. Who did?
And another new show with I feel like we've been talking about this guy so many times and stuff with Jake Gyllenhaal again. On Apple TV Plus, it looked really good on the trailer. It's called Presumed Innocent, and it comes out June 12th. Now, I'm just saying all this, and I'm thinking like Apple TV Plus, please sponsor us because I'm just giving you like free ads here.
Right. It's also Jake Gyllenhaal at this point.
Yeah, like hello, where's my commission? I could be your PR person. So,
Exactly.
and the last thing that I was gonna say is that this past weekend I did watch Iron Claw. I don't know if you guys watched it, the one with Zac Efron and
Not yet,
Jared
but I
and
Leto.
want
what's his
to.
face from The Bear? Yeah.
I want to. Not yet, but I want to.
They got super ripped for that movie, huh?
Yes.
Like their bodies are insane.
It
but
was-
also,
it was-
I'm
That's all.
Nico
That's all
Dole.
Tracey
Good
cares
acting.
about.
oh come on, like you don't.
But I was gonna say that I was surprised because I had low expectations. I'm not into those kind of movies, but it's based on a true story, and I gotta say everyone performed really well, and I definitely do recommend it. But it's definitely a sad story, so yeah. Make sure you
Okay.
guys watch it. I think it's already streaming on platforms. And I definitely binge Bridgerton.
Okay.
Because TikTok made me do it.
That is next on my list.
Mm-hmm.
And Iron Claw.
Yes.
Well, speaking of what we watched, the one thing I got to watch during me time this week is a cute, really good, fun and funny comedy, coming of age comedy. It's called Bottoms. Have you guys heard of it?
Oh, I've heard of it. Yeah.
Where is it? What platform
It's
is it?
available on, I think it's on Prime or Paramount Plus, and it stars Ayo Edebiri. I'm sorry, I'm butchering her name. She's from The Bear.
Oh, the black girl?
Yeah, the
She's
black girl from
so
The Bear.
good.
Also, Rachel Snow and the guy from The Idea of You.
Oh, okay.
Nicholas, which he plays such a different character, and I thought it was really fun and funny. I highly recommend it, and I love that this movie pushes the boundaries a little bit when it comes to comedy because nowadays you got to be so careful about what you say, before you can get canceled. And this movie just kind of pushes it just a little bit, and I'm like, yes, you know me, I love my dark humor, but. Anyway, yeah, Bottoms, check it out.
Awesome.
all I have to add.
Tracy,
Yeah.
did you watch anything this past weekend or you devour 100 million books?
I just read like a
Okay.
nerd.
And you obviously watched what we're discussing today, right?
Of course, yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, so since I was already talking about PR and, I'm just going to use that as a segue because definitely Jake Gyllenhaal, please call me. I got you. And Apple TV Plus, please sponsor us. So we have a guest today and we're so excited. I'm gonna introduce her before she starts talking because I always like her insights and her take on things in general, aside of whatever we discuss here, but in life as well. So our guest today is Tathiana Rosado, aka Tats. So Tathiana is one of the most beautiful people I've ever met in my life, inside and out. She's also the president and founder of her own PR firm, and it's
Let's
called
go.
Ciao, and it's based here in Miami, but this girly pop works everywhere. Miami, New York, London, Italy, wherever you want to see her, she'll be there for you. Now, with over 20 years of experience, she's a confident leader known for her innovative approach. Recognized as a top PR expert driving Miami's growth by Business Insider, Tathiana believes true worth lies in heartfelt effort and courage. She founded Chiao to create a space where creativity and fun flourish alongside passionate colleagues and clients. Outside of work, Tathiana loves watching films and series, which fuels her creative spirits. She's also a close friend of mine, and that's why we're excited to have her on our podcast today. Welcome, Tats.
Welcome.
Yay! Hi, Tats.
Hello.
So glad to have you.
I've been watching you guys, by the way, like from episode 1 to now. So very excited to be here. I'm such a fan already.
Oh, thank you.
But thank you. I'm excited to
We're
be here.
excited to have you.
Yes.
This is so cool.
Okay.
I know.
my
I
gosh.
feel so surreal.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're important.
Oh yeah, I'm so important.
So, Tats, tell us a
Thanks.
little bit about yourself, and then tell us also a little bit about what you feel about like pop culture, and like if you know a lot, if you don't know a lot. Tell us a little bit about that too.
Well, a little bit about myself. Well, thank you for the introduction. I have been in the world of PR for over 20 years. I actually started a great deal in entertainment PR, so working at Madison Square Garden, Radio City Music Hall, and in fashion, which segued into luxury goods and travel and everything that I do now, which is lifestyle. So one of the things that I've loved about what I do is that it's all intertwined with pop culture. So I have to follow it pretty closely. Many of the clients that I work with, whether it's in restaurants or hotels or even real estate, oftentimes I have to follow what the media landscape is talking about. And a lot of it is usually, what are people watching? Like, I've pitched like Game of Thrones best cakes, or which is so interesting, right? Or like I'll have a hotel sort of redecorate an entire room based on like the Queens of Gambit, for example.
Nice.
So it's everything is very interconnected. If something's happening with the royal family, like we can come up with a cocktail. Like I remember we did like a diamond cocktail inspired by Lady D's like anniversary of so everything really is intertwined, and that's why I love watching a lot of series and consuming Instagram like crazy. But everything is really interconnected, and I think it really informs me in how to be sharper, in tuned, have a pulse on what's happening in pop culture, and to either follow the trend or get ahead of the trend a lot of the times and help my clients do that.
That said, I think Tats is probably way more qualified to host this podcast than the rest of us.
So I'm just going to log off.
Absolutely not.
Now we're going to hang up, and she's just going to keep this call going.
You keep listening to Tats. and
Yeah, we're just
we'll
not going to
walk
talk. But thank you for that, Tats. But as you guys can hear and listen, her take on everything, it's so insightful every time. It's always, for me, a new perspective, and it's fresh, and it comes, like, she tells me all of this, and I do, like, I'm so involved in like pop culture and watching all this stuff, but because her world is so different than mine, it's always such a different point of view. And this is why I was like, let's really have her on this episode. And she was also the one that recommended this show for me to watch.
Okay, which is the Palm Royale.
Palm Royale, that's what we're discussing.
Okay, sorry, that was a little spoiler
today.
there.
No, yeah, that's great.
Well, I guess spoiled it. But
It's a
today
great
we're going
segue.
to be talking about, Apple TV series, The Palm Royale, which is about an underdog tale about her attempts to belong in a world she feels excluded from. Simultaneously, she believes that she deserves to be there. As an outsider trying to fit in, her story asks, how much of yourself are you willing to sacrifice to get what someone else has? Starring Kristin, Wiig, Ricky Martin, Leslie Bibb, Laura Dern,
cast.
Allison Janney, and Carol Burnett. And also directed by a various team of female directors.
All female
which we
directors. We love that.
Well, let's get into this. Palm Royale.
You want to start Joe?
I'll start, but I don't think I should start because I did not like the show at all.
I am floored.
Yes.
I'm floored.
I'm so sorry. I thought it was a waste of 10 hours. Oh my God.
That
I am
is
shocked.
I
disrespectful.
did not like it, so I don't think I should start. I'm sorry to drop that bomb on you
Wait,
guys.
that is actually so surprising to hear. Why? What didn't you like about it?
I'll tell you why. And it's such a shame because I thought the characters were so good and the actors are so good. I don't think it was executed the best way. I don't know if it was a director's thing. I think the writing was there. I just feel like the directing was not there for me. The writing could have been a little bit better. I think the show could have narrowed down to 5 episodes instead of 10. I think there was so much information that we did not need, and there were still so many unanswered questions. And also the whole time I was thinking, what's the point of this story? Like, yes, there's a lot going on, but I was so bored. I didn't find anything funny. I found one thing funny. I'll tell you what I found funny. The scene where one of the women is giving birth in the bathtub and the husband starts screaming with them, that made me laugh. Nothing else was funny to me, and I'm sorry, like, because I love the cast and I love the characters, but I just thought it was very, very flat. And I guess I'm the only one who feels that way.
I don't want to say I agree with you, but I think it had a lot of potential to be much better. I don't think it was the director's fault. I think it was the writing. I think there were too many twists and turns. You know, they could have taken down 35% of them. Because the point of the show, I think, is Maxine's story. It's not about anybody else. It's about Kristin Wiig's character, and you know, it's really few actors that make you feel happy, laugh, cry, you know, emotional at the same time. And I think she has that range of making you feel emotional but also like laugh and all this stuff. She has that talent as an actress. I think there were a lot of things that did fall flat, but I did have way more times of laughing. You know, I think like Carol Burnett, it's just the fact that she's still working, she is like a golden star that we still have. You know, she's like the #1 comedic actress that we had back in the day. And all those episodes that she couldn't talk, I think they were fucking hilarious. When she was like, rah, 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 you know, I was dying when she was trying to say revolver. I was like, this is like peak comedy right now, you know. And the fact that
blinking, when she was
blinking
in bed and then Allison Janney is having the conversation, like, blink once for yes, blink twice for no, and then she's like, did you miss me? And then she blinks twice. I thought that was funny. I love So, Carol Burnett is a gem.
I'm like taken back. I mean, I clearly am humbled because you guys have such a critical eye.
Let's hear you, Tats.
I, as an outsider, right, of just looking in, and I think something that, I mean, I also have to compartmentalize, because I also looked at this show from a curiosity standpoint as to what is this world of affluence and privacy and exclusivity that we all know exists in Palm Beach. And for me, even a little bit of homework, because so much of what I do in my work has to be in that luxury lifestyle sector. So for me, it's like, is it really like this? You know? And I have to say, from getting a peek inside of it from in the real world to seeing it unfold, on the show, it was fascinating to me. And I think Kristin was incredible. I mean, her story and the way that she brings her to life, I just can't unsee her I can't see her any other way anymore. Like, she really makes me believe in her story, and I do love that they start showing her growth from the first season towards episode 10. She really starts kind of seeing the real world, and how she had this world in such a pedestal, right? And so she's starting to really feel, oh wait, this is not as perfect as I thought it was. And she just humanized that experience, and she is now kind of helping us see the full extent of it. And so I don't know, I think that they did a really great job of telling and narrating that story. And I love all the twists and turns, because I don't know that I saw it coming that Laura Dern was her ex-husband's fiance.
Right.
I didn't see that happen. I didn't see that coming. I don't know why. I feel like I should have, but I didn't. And to see that it was kind of all of a setup, and it turns out to be one of her best friends on the show, was kind of fascinating to me. So yeah, I don't know. I really enjoy it. I think it's entertaining. I think that every character there's a lot of depth to them. I mean, Ricky Martin at first kind of threw me off a little bit. I was like, I don't know about this guy in this show.
Also, he has
and
way too many fillers. Like, bro,
I
calm
mean,
down.
I mean,
his skin looks great,
Palm
though.
Beach,
I know. It's so on point for Palm Beach, and his body is so on point, and it was almost like he's just a pretty face. But I do like that his character evolved a little bit. He's still not pretty.
Yeah.
But
You can say it.
I think that he does like a good old effort, Anyway, so that's my take from an overview of the show.
Yeah. And listen, it's a safe zone to judge actors, because we are all entitled, and they're putting their work out there for us to judge it. So it's totally cool.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, and you have to listen to us, because we know what we're talking about here.
Exactly.
Right.
We're all professionals. And now I want to hear what Tracey has to say about the script.
I mean, I think I agree with you, Nikki, that it was the writing. I think they were trying to do too much within the show, and 10 episodes was too many. So I agree with you, Joe. I think they should have narrowed it down. Some stuff did not need to be there. Like, I get the symbolism, like the whole thing with the whale.
The whale. Oh my God.
The whale.
We need to talk about that
whale.
fucking whale. That episode was a waste of time.
When she buys the cat at the auction, her own cat.
Oh yeah.
For $75,000, and that was like episode 3 or 4, and we spend the next 6 episodes with that lady being like, fibs, like, give me my money. That was like in every single episode there was a solid scene about, I haven't received my money yet, and it's like,
I mean,
when she became
like, move on.
When she became a hippie, I missed her. I was like, she's not gonna ask for money.
Yeah, that was such a weird
that transition
switch.
though was weird.
It didn't make sense.
And then
I was like,
and then with the ending, I was like, where the fuck is this coming
now
from?
she wants to
like,
kill
was
the
she
president?
in a cult before?
Like,
yeah.
What?
So things like that, I didn't understand. Now the first episode, I loved. I'm all about someone who is climbing to the top, and especially when they're like an outsider.
Yeah.
Like she's this, Southern girl from Chattanooga, Tennessee, just like a beauty queen. And I love that she keeps talking about Douglas, and the one woman is like, okay, like, you're not really married to a Delacourt, like, you're a liar.
Yeah.
and then he shows up.
And he's a pilot. I didn't believe
He is a pilot. So like she wasn't lying.
Yeah, because it makes you.
I was kind of bummed that she wasn't lying about it.
It makes you believe
That was like the
she's-
first. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like the first surprise of the the show.
Yeah,
Right.
it does make
And
you
then
believe that she's lying. You're like, oh yeah, she probably doesn't have a husband.
Right, because she's living in this hotel, and then she's taking all the clothes and like selling the jewelry from Norma. So you're thinking like, oh, this girl doesn't have shit. And then he shows up, and it's like, oh wait, she was telling the truth. And I think that for me too was like a turning point in the show. And then it's like as soon as he came in, and it just sort of went downhill for me. And I was pretty bored with most of it. Until the last 20 minutes.
Right. I think the
show.
last episode. Because
That, like, her whole monologue that she has
I hope
on
she
stage.
gets nominated.
I
my
had all
God.
the emotions.
Yeah.
Jesus, like,
Beautiful.
so good. And, like, the last
Beautiful.
little bit. And then you're left on a cliffhanger. And I said, son of a bitch. Are you
Well,
kidding
that's the
me?
point.
Yeah. Yeah, wait. You're going to leave it like this? Ugh.
I
think-
I have no
Go ahead.
idea if it's getting renewed for season 2. It could have definitely
I-
been
yeah.
like shorter episodes, but I have to say that with a script that wasn't as good as it could have been, the actors gave it all. They
Yes.
delivered.
1,000%.
I mean, also
Yes.
it's like, I mean, like Allison Janney, like, are you kidding me? My like, hello, she's like one of the best out there too.
Right.
Leslie
I
Bibb, I feel like
love
she's
Allison
been,
Janney.
And
like,
I loved
up
her
and coming,
character.
but she's really good too. You know, everyone was so good.
Everyone, that's what I'm so disappointed because the potential is there, the talent is there, and they all knew their characters so well. Kristen Wiig knew her assignment. Allison Janney, everyone else did. You know, Ricky Martin.
Well, and he's also like he's not an
But
actor.
that's not
you know?
his right. That's
Yeah.
not his like thing. But like I really do hope that I agree with you. I hope that Kristen Wiig does get nominated because, like Tat said, that I feel like this was such a different character for her, and I was like, good for you, good job. Now I'm sad that the writing sucks, but she really performed this role so well with the material that was given to her.
Exactly.
You know?
I was kind of bummed that Norma haven't been observing, right? Because she was not
Yeah.
talking for most of the season. That she still hated this girl. I felt bad, and I'm like, okay, despite her really wanting your money, like she is trying to keep you alive.
Right,
And
yeah.
the fact that she still, I don't know, maybe it was just like me wanting always like the heroine to like win. Like, I just could not believe that she was trying to kill her.
Yeah,
It's
I also
crazy to me.
It's so true, Tats, because the whole show, I was like, oh, they're maybe making it 10 episodes because Norma's gonna change her mind about her, and she's gonna realize that it's her nephew that's a piece of shit. It's not her.
Right.
You know, the whole time, and
Right.
you're just thinking she's just a bitter bitch at this point. You know, I mean, she already had this like judgmental face when you see Ricky Martin and the quote unquote prince, you know, or whatever, you know, having their moment, and she sees them, you know, and she's so like kind of like disappointed in him, you know, and I also feel like she kind of like had a little crush on him too.
She did.
But
Oh,
I think she
100%.
knew. But I think she knew that he was a homosexual because she was like, we can get married
That was in
and
the
protect
last
each other's
episode.
secrets. Yeah, but like protect each other's secrets. So it's like he can save face, be married to a woman, but like have another life. But then you're like, wait, what's her secret? Which, yes, we find out. But also, I feel like that could have really played into
The story.
more of it earlier on, which would lead to why she's maybe trying to kill Kristen Wiig. Because maybe she's finding things that are a little hinky and not adding up, you know, and Norma's got to get rid of her.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question,
So-
Tracey. You know, what you just mentioned about, you know, her secret. I'm a bit confused. Can someone clarify it for me? So she was actually Agnes who she lied about and pretended that it was her roommate that had died from diabetes. That whole point, like that whole part lost me. I was so confused. Like when Ricky Martin's character confronted her about it, I was like, oh, okay, so she lied, but why? And I was just so lost. Like, what was the whole point there?
Well, because Agnes and Norma were roommates in college or boarding school or whatever. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
And
Who knows?
Agnes has diabetes.
Okay.
Norma, the real Norma, did not.
Oh.
But remember when she tried to poison Kristin Wiig with insulin?
Right.
And then, like, her ending up in the coma in the first place was she was trying to give herself an insulin shot.
It was an act. Basically, she took...
Yeah.
She was... Okay.
So Agnes took... like, Norma, the real Norma died, and Agnes took her
over,
place. They swapped. Because she wanted to probably live this life of luxury, and she was trying to hold on to it, which is why she never married. She never had kids.
I totally missed that part.
Wait, so the real Norma is dead?
That until later. Yeah.
Yes.
So the
she's
real...
like,
but how did nobody...
The real Norma Delacourt is bye.
Yeah.
But wait. Hold on a second. Wait.
Go back. Watch the speech that Anne gives.
Oh, I need to
that is
rewatch
the
this.
answer right there.
I knew that I missed something because he said, but I couldn't put two into two. Like that was a lot of information that I did not get from that conversation.
So how do they not
wow.
recognize Norma, though?
Well, because if you look at the picture above the mantle with her with the tiara, when they were younger, they kind of look similar. Like they had the strawberry blonde hair, like short style. So like they kind of looked a little bit similar.
So that's why she hates Kristen Wiig, because Kristen Wiig is
Doing
literally
the same
doing
thing.
that
It's
she
her.
did.
It's her.
You know? It's her. She's seen herself in the making.
Guys, this just made it so much better.
You see, that's what I'm saying. The potential is there, but it's like...
See? They should have really worked
really
more with
just
that.
did not execute it well.
They buried that because how are you supposed to, at the last episode, piece all those things together? It like, I really missed that. I was like, okay, I realized her name is not Norma, her name is Agnes, but I did not get all that context that you just debunked for us, Tracey, so thank you for that. But I feel like that really, there has to be a season 2. I mean, that gives a lot more fodder for the next season.
I believe that, but I have a fun question for all of you. So if you were the writer and you really want to, go deep into that part of the story and get rid of some like useless stuff that we had in the show, what would you do differently? Like what specifically? Like how would you take us there?
I feel like Tracey might have the best answer out of all of us because she's so intellectual. But I have an idea. I'd get rid of all of that whole thing about that women's group who are feminists and advocating for like human rights and with the war that's happening in Vietnam. I'd get rid of that. I'd get rid of the whale. I'd incorporate more of Norma's history and how it's...
How will you portray her history? Because that's like what my...
Because
what
you know how they
makes me
show...
curious.
You know how they would show flashbacks of when Norma was
that's all I wanted
walking
to.
and Norma...
Okay.
Because they talk so much about Norma and the Rolodex and how much power she had. They talk a lot about that, but I was like, I don't see it because this bitch is in a bed all day long, So all I'm hearing is stories and I'm like, ooh, like, I don't know. It was,
Who is she?
Who is she? It was like they were giving me little bits and I was like, okay, we're eventually going to see this large living, powerful Norma, and we never got to see that. Like, to me, Norma didn't have any power. Like, she has, I don't know. I wanted to see more of that.
Okay.
I mean, she was basically blackmailing everybody in the town.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it works. That's
Yeah.
how it works. From what I know in that world, that's how it works. So, I agree. I feel like Tracy's gonna trump all of us on her writing on this one.
No, not at all.
I disagree with you. I think the women's group is a future for Maxine. I think that they are setting it up so that she's gonna come full circle because that is the future, right? And that's real. That's reality, right?
Yeah.
What those women are talking about, I mean, they are the future. And so I think we see hints of that in Maxine, but right now she's just her vision is so blurry because
Clouded.
she's just like thank you. Clouded because of her husband and wanting to please the husband and do all those things. So I think we're gonna start seeing that shift. But on the Norma question, I feel that there was an opportunity to tie what Tracey said earlier about the insulin and Agnes, and whenever that happened, when she was talking to the love of her life, I forget his name now, when she was speaking with him, there could have been a moment of flashback there. Or at some point when they were talking about the insulin, there could have been a flashback there. So it would have, because we do see a lot of that. So I do think that and all you see is her in like the parties, but you don't see what she's doing behind the scenes. So I agree with you on that, Joe. But yeah, I think it's going to be a flashback. And I think that, the future of Maxine is with the hippies.
That's a
Okay.
really good point, and I didn't
It is
think
a
of
really
that.
good
And I
point.
think you really have a good thing going on there. If there is a second season, if it's supposed to be a one season thing, then I wish that I would have seen that come to life. Because you know, there is definitely a character growth and arc going on there where she starts to change when she realizes, money doesn't buy you happiness. It's just lies and scandals and mischievous.
I think she's gonna learn how to bridge the gap between the two, and she's gonna be
Right. That's also
the Nora Power Bee.
that would also be
Well,
cool.
because she
That would be
even
cool.
said she was like, "Oh, dear Lord, I'm not a feminist." No, like disgusted by that idea.
Yeah.
But then at the end, when she's telling, the manicurist,
Mitzi.
Yes.
Mitzi,
Mitzi.
thank you. She's saying to Mitzi, like when she finds out that she's pregnant, and she's like, "You go and you tell Perry, because you are a strong, confident woman, and you get what you deserve. Like go for it." I mean, isn't that feminism?
It is. It is.
So I think that's that, and then also that whole thing when she finds out that it was
Oh my God. So
her
heartbreaking.
husband,
Yeah.
and she's like sort of having that break on stage.
I'm like, she's gonna go back to the astronaut. The astronaut. I was waiting for that moment. I was waiting for him to
Yeah.
come back.
I also think it showed a lot of her character, how loyal she was to him, because even and how she also had this guilt and shame about the loss of her pregnancy. I feel like the reason she kept staying with him, because I think deep down she knew that he wasn't a great guy, especially when he's making all these like fucked up deals. But she's like, I have to stay with him because I made him marry me without him knowing that I wasn't pregnant anymore. And I think it just shows a lot of who she is. Like she has, even though she wants all this money, she does have a clouded vision. I think she has such a good heart the whole time, and she's a lonely character. She wants to have friends. She wants to be part of the inside joke always, and I think that was the beautiful part of Maxine, because we all have a little bit of her in us.
Yeah.
Which
Feel
is
like-
so interesting. Sorry, because
No, go ahead.
real quick, because I mean, she's trying to become this, socialite and like break into this world, and most of these, they're terrible people.
They're horrible.
So like, it's just so interesting that she wants to live this life of luxury and lavishness and opulence, but it's like to sacrifice what? I mean, not herself, right? Because she's a good person. I mean, I know it's sort of to benefit herself, but when she takes her friend to go and get that abortion in the beginning, which also, like, she didn't do anything with, like, such a scandalous thing to do,
but it just shows
and
her
then
heart
you
again.
have that information and she didn't use it, which, I mean, maybe also speaks to her character.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
'Cause,
Like, it
she
still shows
yeah.
how good of a person she was. And also it could be like a juxtaposition of how different they were, because if we would have been the other way around, these other characters wouldn't have let that die down. They would have be bringing up that abortion constantly. So I don't know. I think it was good to see, like, the different kind of personalities, but in the sense of, like, being a good person and being just a fucking awful human being that's so greedy and only thinks about themselves.
Before we go further, you know, I still want to hear Tracey's answer to Nikki's question and then Nikki's question. What would you say,
yes,
Tracey?
yes. Like,
with
how
the
would
writing?
you switch it? Yeah.
Well, I mean, I do agree with you, Tats, with the women's group, that it is important, but also I think I would have condensed it a bit. In the sense when they were trying to do the deportation for the soldiers, like that whole thing, and then they get raided, and I don't know, just like some of that. Well, also because, like, the woman who owns it, when Laura Dern and she are, like, locked in the wine cellar, and Laura Dern makes some joke to her about, like, oh, will you never tell me anything about your personal life? Like, are you a cop? And she's like, oh, you're drunk.
Right. Is she a cop?
Is she?
We never found out.
She's got insider info.
She definitely
That's what I'm
does.
saying.
Because
She's
the
there.
first question I thought to myself was like, why are you free and all the other women aren't? Like, what happened?
Right. And she's like, oh, I have friends in high places, which it's like, oh, are you really like Laura Dern and you come from a family of, you know, money and connections? It is possible, but people don't think that because she's black, you know? So at a time when it was like they're fighting for civil rights, you know, oh, black people can't be successful.
Yeah.
So is it that she actually does have a very successful, rich family and that's how she was freed? Or is she like an undercover cop and that's how she was let go? I don't know. So it's like they just sort of like had these really interesting things that
Could have been bigger and
could have been more. It's like what they should have played up more, they didn't.
Yeah.
You know? So, like, yeah, and that whole thing with the whale, get rid of that. Oh, Laura Dern's relationship with her father, and then when they take the LSD trip, and then he dies. Like, I don't know,
We
some
didn't
of that
need
shit,
that.
I'm like, we didn't need that. Him, when she brings him the cake, and then Allison Janney comes and is like, why are you eating the cake? It's like, okay.
Also, like,
Get rid of that.
Like I
I
feel
think
like
that. Sorry, go ahead.
I just feel like that story, he didn't even need to be there physically. You know, the dad. It was, for me, it was like in the flashback, yes, so we know what actually happened.
Right, with the shooting.
But
That's
then
fine.
with him, you know, but then, okay, they used that moment for her to run into Maxine when Norma was in that hospital. So, like, you know, like,
Right.
they did use the moments for the right things, but it could have been a different way. It was definitely unnecessary, but I don't know if they were trying to portray, you know, like how their relationship was, like dad and daughter. I think that's what they were trying to do, but I feel like,
But how does that further the plot?
yeah, like, I don't think
That's the thing, you know?
I think
Like, we can
out of
tell
all
she's a
the
good
women-
person.
But the thing is, like, I think out of all the women, I mean, what I'm taking away from this conversation right now and what I realized as everyone's story was unfolding is that Laura Dern's character is the only one that was truly born into wealth. Because everyone else
Yeah.
had to kind of figure it out. One was a Vegas dancer, and one they were all Maxine at one point. Essentially, the only true OG and born and raised into old money was her. So, and
And
then
she didn't even want it.
the yeah, and then to see that she realized, that that was not it, and she's furthering this movement. And then in the end, you still see her vulnerabilities of like, okay, like I was, part of this world, and she's really the one that's like has anything substantial and realistic to say about that world that is not conniving and it's not fabricated the way that these women have created it. And so it kind of puts things into perspective too, like these women are doing everything to like stay on top, and she's doing nothing, and she's the only one that's really from that. So I thought that was interesting. And the dad, I agree with you. The dad thing was a little too long. I didn't need to see him going to LSD trip. Like,
So weird.
that was
they
weird.
show that,
The
yeah.
way I kind of love the whale thing though, because it's just so quirky, and Maxine is so quirky, and I think that I would have loved to see the whale like bring her to shore.
That's what I was thinking.
I was waiting
When she was
for
like,
that moment.
"Whoa," like calling the whale, and it goes back in the water, and then she falls overboard. I'm like, the whale's gonna save her,
I was
That would have been
waiting.
hilarious.
right?
I was expecting
That
that,
would have been
too.
epic. That would have been epic. So I hate when I think they didn't have as easy transitions in certain scenes. Like, had they brought that to life, I wouldn't have been questioning, like, well, how the heck did she, get out of there? You know what I mean? So I feel like they could have done those transitions a little bit more smoothly.
For sure.
And what about you, Nikki?
What? How do I fix
Answer
it?
your own question. Yeah, fix it.
How do I
Fix it
fix
for
it?
us.
I would have definitely done like 7 episodes, not 10. I think I would have gone a little bit, like I would have shown more friendships, specific friendships, like more closeness between her and Mitzi, because if she's so heartbroken, it's not only because that motherfucker cheated on her, because I feel like she already knows what kind of man he is, but she's also heartbroken because this was her actual friend, and I think they could have taken a little bit that further in, because I feel heartbroken, but I could have been more heartbroken,
Right.
and even the way that I found out, I didn't like the way I found out about it. It was too casual, compared to, not compare, but in the way that the show was going. The show is a dramedy. It's funny and it's drama, and I want these moments to really fucking matter,
Yeah.
and I would have made that a little bit deeper, that relationship, and then I would have definitely made that the hippie circle like a little bit less girls. There were too many, and yeah, we only got that one story of the, like, one quote unquote story of the black girl, because that was like the one that she was kind of closest to, but we didn't really get enough of her.
No.
And then I would have dived in a little bit more into Ricky Martin's character with Norma, because I feel like we didn't know much about them either. Like they've had this relationship for so long, but we don't really know. We only know that he was like, she was like, move in with me and help me out, period. We have no idea what he knows, everything that, because like she gets in that house and she's like, oh, but basically you know everything. But it's like, why does he know everything?
Why does he have the Rolodex?
Why does he have all the, like, what happened there? Give me more of this information.
Maybe he was feeding her some of the information.
Yeah,
He works at all the events and at the club, so
that
he
would have
sees a
been a
lot.
great flashback right there. You
know.
know, like all these like little like things that mattered weren't showcased as much as they could have. And then I would have also, I wouldn't have gotten rid of the whale. I would have had the whale saved her. We didn't need the astronaut in it at all.
I don't
Like
think so.
he
either.
didn't have to be in it. Let me see what else. I think that's pretty much it. I would have made it a little bit shorter. I think one of the funniest episodes is like the funeral. When they're all there and it's like it's like a sad scene, like visually, and they're all kind of like having their private moments, and they're funny, you know. And then you have all these hippies come in the middle of it, you know, and they're not dressed in black. So I don't know, there were like a few things that I would have changed, but definitely it's like taking off decoration, you know. Too many
Yeah.
decoration. Like, let's keep it a
Yes.
little bit more simple.
Like that
Who's
flashback
to-
with
who's
Ricky
to
Martin
say-
on the beach with that soldier. I was like, where did that go?
Yeah,
What was,
that
like,
was random.
I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I thought that maybe he was gonna show up at the party at the end.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna kiss him.
Yeah,
I
I thought he was
nothing.
gonna kiss,
Ran-
like they were gonna
so
make out, and that
random.
was gonna be
At least
like
we
his
got to see
like,
a nice
first gay
pair of
experience.
cheeks, but that's it.
I think that they just okay. So a lot of things. First of all, I think this is just everyone has shared. Just kind of further explains that like there's more to be desired, right? And so I think that they're not going to give all the enchilada in one season. So I
Yeah.
think there's more to see. But also, I think it's important to note that there was a lot of things happening during this. It's a period piece, right? So there was a lot of context, a lot of history that they need to cover.
That's Giovanni's
So-
favorite words.
I know.
Not to laugh.
Yeah.
I know. We love a period
We
piece.
love
Oh,
a
the
period piece.
I
I'm surprised
love
I
it.
didn't say it at the beginning of the episode.
I love a
Sorry,
period
Tats.
piece.
I was trying to hold it in.
Well, I
It's
did
a
it for you.
period
You can
piece.
say it again.
Good.
There you go. You said it. It is a period piece, and I think it's important to incorporate some sense of timing to further solidify what is happening during that time, and it kind of puts things into the check boxes for us as viewers too. It's like, oh wait, like, is this real? Does it make sense? So they kind of play a little bit with the reality and also with this fictitious, world. But I don't know. I agree that it maybe could have been a little tiny bit shorter, but I do think that just gives them more room to give us more content next season.
Okay.
1,000%. And to piggyback on what you just said, Tats, I do agree that you need to like set up in the time period with everything that's going on, but it's hard because it's like the late 60s was so much. You had like women's rights, you had civil rights, you had Vietnam War was going on, you had, Stonewall had just happened. So it's like they're trying to incorporate all these like political and social movements. It's just so much to take on that maybe they should have just picked like one or two to like really focus on. Because I think because that's the thing, like you're trying to just do too much at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me tell you
Good
something
point.
who does that and executes it really well. The morning show.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
No,
know
no,
what
no,
the fuck
that's-
they're doing.
yeah. That
There's a
is
million
also-
things
it
going
always-
on, and they do it.
And it
very
always
That's
comes
next
full
level.
circle. You know, it always comes
It
full
does.
circle at the end of each season. Like, you want to know more, but at the end of each season, everything that they told you mattered. You know?
It's like,
'Cause they're
I'm
like
gonna
little-
find out what that was about later.
Yes, exactly. They're little things that
Such a good show.
that this show told us that I was like, I don't think that really mattered that much, you know?
Yeah, that's
You
a
know,
good point. The
and-
morning show does do a good job with that.
They give us so much information through it, so much. And then it all, like, it's wrapped up in a bow at the end. You're like, here's your gift. I really like
Changing
it.
the subject really quick. Someone mentioned fillers in Ricky Martin's face. I think it was Nikki.
Nikki.
Can we talk about Laura Dern's face?
What
What
happened?
about it?
I mean, they made her look like 20 years younger. I know it's not me.
No,
I think she just looks
think
good.
She looks good. Yeah.
Come on, guys.
I don't think
It's
I think it's
HD.
also the haircut that the bangs and the hair just straight down.
I was like,
And her
did they
clothes were,
purposefully make her look younger? Because her face looked so flat and smooth. I'm not calling the woman ugly. I'm not. But I'm saying she does not look that young in real life.
Well, I mean, this is Jurassic Park, girl. So we know she isn't super young, but whoever her injector is, they're great. You know,
Have your people call our people.
please, yes, sir.
She's just aged well too. I mean, if she does get anything done, I can't tell.
Exactly.
Well, I went to
know?
her Instagram in the middle of watching up an episode, and I was like, her fucking face does not look like that in this Instagram post. So I was like, she must have gotten some fillers right before
Or
the
a
shooting.
really good makeup
I
artist.
mean, makeup helps.
Yeah.
Maybe good
Yeah.
makeup. That's what I'm saying. Maybe it was purposefully done with makeup. I don't know, but for me, it was so evident. Like, from the very first moment she came on the screen, I was like, whoa. I was like, is she playing a 25-year-old? What's going on here?
I didn't see her as a 25-year-old.
I saw her like that.
I saw
Yeah,
her
I
as
did not
like-
see her that young.
I saw
her
her
I'm
as like a
exaggerating.
40.
I'm exaggerating. Maybe
Yeah,
35.
Yeah, I saw her as a 40.
I think she's like
30.
early 40s.
Yeah.
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 Which she's like 58, so.
But to that point, Joe, on the Ricky Martin side of things, I thought it was very strange that he's so stretched out, yet they still left the little wrinkles on his eye. Right? Did you guys?
Yes.
So it almost
Yes.
felt like he had leather face and then the little wrinkles.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that makes no sense, because if you're gonna stretch yourself out, like, at least get rid of the crow feet. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
I
And
didn't get that. Although
you
that
can
kind
tell-
of humanized him a little bit, but like,
No, this
he
part
looked
here
like
was
his.
bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, it
and you
was
can
bad.
tell that there were scenes where he was sucking it in so much. I don't know if you guys could tell. That he was like. There was a scene.
What's that exercise that that's like to do ab work? You kind of really have to flatten your
It's like the
stomach.
vacuum
Yeah.
one.
Yes.
Yeah.
He
like
just
I-
there was a scene where he was he's shirtless almost the whole series, but there was one where he's like arguing with Maxine, and you can tell that he's so tense and stiff because he's like holding in his stomach. And I'm like, bitch, please, who are
We
you
don't
trying to
care.
fool with? Like, come on, Ricky Martin.
Yeah, I think
But yeah,
they
his
did-
face looked like it was about to rip in some places, and other places look wrinkled.
Because I feel
was
like
just too much.
it's too
Yeah.
many fillers because
Too
his
much.
cheeks were too up too. It's like they filled up his face with things.
I know.
I don't know.
What
And
did
his,
you guys think about his relationship with Maxine? I didn't
I
see
felt
that
like-
coming.
I felt like he forgave her too easily at the end. With the
Yeah.
whole Prince thing, and then
I don't know.
nothing
I
came
think,
of that. Like I was waiting for him to confront the Prince. You're like, hey, you lied
I
to me.
think
Yeah.
he needed to
Nothing
forgive
came-
her right away. Actually, I'm like, she did you a fucking favor, you know. So
Yeah,
in
but-
my opinion, it was
yes.
that. I also,
But did she really do it for him?
no,
He
obviously,
did it to save
She
her.
did it for herself.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was for her husband.
So,
but she still
you know,
did
like,
him
it
a
worked
favor.
out.
Yeah.
It worked out in
Yeah,
the
it
end,
did.
but
It
she
worked
didn't do it to, as a favor to him.
Yeah.
No.
100%.
They did that for the viewers to feel good about the decision, but the
Exactly.
truth is, Homegirl did it selfishly. And
I
I
think there
feel
were-
like we don't see that. He doesn't see that, and he just forgives her.
They were definitely meant to be friends, though. Like that's something that I think we all wanted as viewers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I saw
For
that
her to
coming. You
have-
know, I was like, at the end, they're gonna end up being friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which is why she was so devastated.
I
with
think
that
I also feel like it was
last
a one-way street relationship. Like he became friends with her at the end. She was always friends with him. Like in her eyes,
Oh,
because I
yeah.
think like she was really naive, constantly naive and oblivious. I think that's what made Maxine such a. I loved her character. She was so clueless all the time. It's like these people don't give a fuck about you, and you just keep trying. And to see that journey of her, like like understanding that it's not what she thinks it is or what she feels like it is. So I think the whole time she was thinking they were really good friends, and he wasn't thinking that at all.
Isn't
Well,
that
also
beautiful?
he makes the best grasshoppers in Palm Beach.
Yeah.
Grasshopper.
I think it was beautiful though. Like, and it's kind of sad. Like, she just had to grow up essentially because she just had she lived in this bubble in her head. And I kind of empathize with her in that she was just like, she just really wanted to fit in. She believed in the good of everybody, and then her world just continued to crumble.
Yeah.
As it like became more and more and more real for her, and like that's kind of sad because if you mirror that to our reality in the world, it's like we are young kids that like the world is beautiful and rainbows and sunshines, and then throws us curveballs.
Yep.
And I think that's what was happening to her. She was very sheltered in like this small, I can't even say the town that she's from, but in Tennessee. But she was so sheltered there. And then she comes to like
the city,
what seemingly is the city,
Yeah.
and like really sees that the world is not rainbows and sunshine. So I think that again, it just humanizes her a little bit more.
It's a reality too, because that happens in the real world where we have people who come from small towns move to big cities like Miami, New York, and immediately they want to become social climbers. They want to reach the top, and they'll step over anyone and anyone to get to where they want to get to, fake it till you make it, and that's what she saw. And, sometimes, and this is a reality, this people along the way, when they get to a certain point after social climbing for a while, they realize that they lose their identity. And not only that, they realize that the people that they're looking up to or wanting to be friends with are not really good people. They're not worth it, So there is, to add to what you were saying, Tats, it is brings in that humanistic characteristic to her role and character, but also it is a reality of what really happens in real life. Like, social media. Don't believe what you see on social media. It's not.
No, we only see
real.
the highlights.
It's fake. Right. You only see the highlights, and that's what she saw. She only saw the highlights, and she thought, like, there was one moment when she was telling Evelyn, but we are friends, you are my friend. And I'm like, no, you weren't. You guys were never friends. Never friends. She was she has such a kind heart.
Yeah.
The only friend I think she has is the reporter.
I know.
And
that reporter. And then
That reporter did her so solid,
that reporter
really
was
put her on the
looking out
spotlight.
for her. I like that reporter. I was like, come on. That reporter, that was a funny and interesting character.
Yeah.
I wish we got to see more of that character. A little bit more.
Yeah.
Actually, I thought too that at the end, when she was making that speech about Norma, that she was going to blow the lid off of everything.
Right.
She's a
I thought that
journalist.
something
She's
was
a
going to
reporter.
happen, and nothing happened. Nothing
But
happened.
I
More
also
for next
feel
season,
like,
y'all.
Yeah, I also feel like nothing happened because you're there waiting, and then they give you a lot with that monologue, with Kristen Wiig's monologue. You couldn't have the reporter like putting all the dirty underwear out there for Norma, and then Kristen Wiig's monologue. Like, you want to see Maxine's journey at the end, and her realization of this is fucking bullshit.
Right. Switching gears, and I don't know if this is part of Fun Facts, but You know that scene where Laura Dern is like hiding in a room and all of a sudden we see her character come back and she can barely speak?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, it's not just
yeah,
me. You guys noticed it too.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I think were they trying to make her like she lost her
I
voice or whatever because she hadn't been speaking for so long?
is that in fun facts, Tracy? Do you have something for us? Okay, but do you
I
know
don't
what I'm
have
talking
anything.
about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
who knows if like in real life she got laryngitis or something
Yeah.
and they had to film and they just like wrote it in real quick.
Yeah, where she's like passing letters under the door because I'm like, why is she hiding in the room? Or why is she not speaking? And then
Or
when
maybe
she
she's
comes
just
back,
such a good actress that she can talk like this.
like this, and
That would be really
and I was just
impressive
like,
because I was in
and I was just like,
I know, because it did sound very
I was
convincing.
like,
So
something
I don't know.
definitely happened because I don't understand the whole point of her hiding, or at least not speaking behind the door. Like, what was the whole point with the letters? And then her voice is gone. I was like, yeah, she definitely got sick. But I just wanted to ask because to see if Tracy found something. But maybe
See,
not.
so there's no fun facts, obviously, because it's probably finished last week. Is there anything?
I have a couple things.
Oh,
Yeah.
yay!
Okay.
Okay.
Yay!
So, Tats, I don't know if you know, but we do have a fun fact segment that Tracey tells us the fun things about the behind the scenes of the films and TV shows. So it's really exciting. This is like my favorite part.
Yeah, it's always the best part. Okay.
Well,
Take us
hopefully
home, Tracy.
this won't be too bad. I couldn't find that much, to be honest, so we'll see. But I'm sure you saw in the opening credits that it says it was based off of a novel. So it's Juliet McDaniel's 2018 novel Mr. and Mrs. American Pie. Now, the book and the show are like pretty much completely different. So different. And the author said that she looks at the show as more of a prequel to her novel. So in the book, the synopsis is basically Maxine is living in Palm Springs, California, and her husband is leaving her for his 22-year-old secretary. And so Maxine moves to Scottsdale, Arizona, and she enters an American Pie beauty pageant that's awarded to the nation's best wife and mother. Now, the problem is she needs to find a husband and a kid to, like, make this family so that she
Yeah.
can
So interesting.
hopefully win this. So, obviously, as you could see, that doesn't
That is
happen in the
completely
show.
different.
So, yeah, this is more of a because I think she even said that Maxine and the author, Maxine and Robert don't even like interact
Oh, wow.
in the book. So their whole relationship is just completely built up in the show.
Wow.
Norma is not even like in the book at all.
Okay.
So yeah.
So maybe it's loosely inspired.
Yeah, I would say so because
I
even
have
like
to
the
say, it sounds so much better than this book already. Based on,
Yeah.
right. So but like the author said, it's more of a prequel, if you will.
Is the book called The Palm Royale?
No, it's called Mr. and Mrs. American Pie.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, then, okay, it wouldn't make sense if it was called Palm Royale. Okay.
Right.
Got it.
So
Okay.
I just thought that was interesting.
Cool.
So it was actually filmed in California.
I figured.
I figured too.
Very, very, it looks like, it almost looks a little bit like Miami too, a little bit. Like Florida, you know.
Yeah.
East Coast. Yeah.
So it was filmed in California, but the director, Tate Taylor, wanted inspiration. Like they originally wanted to shoot it in Palm Beach. But it was just too difficult being able to like film on location because it's very like secretive and exclusive. So the director, Tate Taylor, wanted to see what the most exclusive club in Palm Beach looked like, which is called the Everglades Club. And they ended up actually sneaking into the club through a side door, like Maxine style, like when she's climbing over the wall. So they stuck in through a side door, and they were spotted by security and kicked out.
oh, that's funny. That's funny.
I wish
So,
you would have
full-
I'm
granted
surprised
them
that
access.
yeah,
though.
I'm
Like,
surprised
I'm like,
that they. That's
yeah,
weird.
that's really exclusive.
They probably
Wow.
didn't
Very.
even say they were like directing something. They just, you know,
Yeah.
they're like,
I don't
"Okay,
think it would have
bye."
mattered.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like one of those places where like you're not a member, get out.
Yeah.
So I want to give a nod to the costume designer for this show. Like,
Oh
Yes.
yes.
I'm all about the costumes and clothing and hair and makeup in a show and a movie, and
did amazing.
I fucking loved the outfits. It was
Amazing.
gorgeous, beautiful, fun. So Alex Friedberg was the costume designer, and her credits include she did Big Little Lies, True Detective,
Oh,
Sharp Objects, and Luckiest Girl Alive are just some of the things that she's done. So she has like over 30 years of experience. She said that about 60% of the pieces were vintage, and they
Okay.
were collected from costume houses in LA and New York, but a lot of the pieces were actually received online from Etsy.
Okay.
Wow, so cool.
And anything that they couldn't get that was already put together, that they made from vintage patterns or pieces,
Nice.
except shoes, because obviously they'd fall apart. They probably would be too gross. But I thought that was interesting. And then the director said that for the aesthetic of the show and the costuming and just everything, that they used inspiration from Slim Aarons. Now, I didn't know who this was. I had to look it up. But Slim Aarons was an American photographer who took pictures of socialites and celebrities, especially during like the 60s and 70s. So his work appeared in Life, Town and Country, and Holiday magazines.
Okay.
So he was
Nice.
very much,
Very cool.
you know, when you think of this show, like he would be there
Wow.
photographing everything. Like that was his world. So I just thought that was interesting.
Thanks, Tracy, for those fun facts.
Love that.
Welcome.
Okay, Joe, you want to give us the Rotten Tomatoes score?
Yes. So with Rotten Tomato score, okay, so the Rotten Tomato score is 56%.
I know, it wasn't
Yikes.
fresh.
No. But the audience score is a little bit higher. The audience gave it a 70%. So that is better.
Telling you, the critical eye, you know, gets so critical for us normal folks.
Right. And then I
We
also
loved
like to
it.
look at the IMDb score. IMDb score is not terrible. They gave it a 6.8 on IMDb.
It's not bad. But remember, IMDb is like audience, you know.
Yeah.
It's
you know.
anybody can rate it. Yeah, Rotten
70,
Tomatoes is the
6.8,
critics.
Yeah. I always trust the Rotten Tomato score, though. I
Yeah,
don't know
me
why.
too.
I love it. Yeah. I would look at
Pretty
Rotten
on point.
I don't know. I'm skeptical.
But Tats would give it 100%. Okay, so
I'm going to give it
This is-
100.
Tats, this is the part of the episode where we give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down or a maybe. So, Tats, what is your verdict?
I'm doing this.
Oh, we have a new one. Oh,
She's giving the heart.
I
She
love it.
nerved it.
Yeah.
Thumbs
Okay.
up.
2 thumbs up. Wow.
What about you, Trace?
It's tough. Overall, I would probably give it a thumbs down.
I give it a
But
thumbs
it's hard because I loved like the first 2 episodes and the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like I loved it. And I think honestly those are the episodes that Tate Taylor directed.
Oh, shit. And I like Tate Taylor's work.
So I was like, oh shit, maybe that I just really like them. But yeah, overall, I don't know.
I give
Thumbs
it a
down. Like it's
sorry.
it's like last week where, or maybe not last week, the week before. If I didn't have to watch it, like I probably wouldn't have.
What about you, Nikki?
Sorry.
I give it a maybe because I feel like giving it a thumbs down would take off from the actors, and I think the actors really delivered. And again, like, you know, I think the script was what really kind of fucked it up. if you think of the rest of them, like the actors, the costumes, the photography, you know, the directors did what they could with what they had. I think giving it a thumbs down is too rough for me. So I give it a maybe. And I think if you're a Kristen Wiig's fan, you know, and even Carol Burnett fan, you should definitely watch it.
Okay.
Yep.
Joe.
It's the first time that we're not all
Okay.
I know.
that we're not all on the same page. Yeah.
Same page.
Yeah.
2 thumbs
I'm
down
glad
and
I'm
2
here.
thumbs up.
I'm glad that I
Yeah.
came to like bring
It's a
some positivity
it's
in
a
here.
50-50-ish.
Well, also like
Listen, and again,
go for it.
I agree. Like the acting and the cast was amazing. You know, I mean, you have people who are just they show up to work.
Yeah,
You
they
know, and no one did a bad job. Like I think even
So
Ricky
how do
Martin
you?
did
so
okay.
I'm confused then on this ranking or rating system
Because
if
well, for
everyone
me-
did a great job, showed up, great acting.
The most
great-
important thing to me is the story. I need a plot. I need story. That is the
whale
most important
wasn't-
thing to me.
I need the same thing. I need you to keep
And
me on
this-
my eyes on the
yeah.
screen.
You want to keep me hooked. If you're actually
Yes.
Absolutely.
able to like
We're-
look away and be on your phone, forget it.
Yeah, you lost.
We're in a
That's
time, we're in an era of short attention span, of too many options and choices, you know? So it's like you have all this competition, all these streaming services. Make me want to watch you.
I have to say I'm guilty. I think in episode 7, I don't remember which one that is, but I know specifically that it was episode 7 that I was on my phone for for like a good period, which is very unlike me. Like I like to be very present when I'm watching something. So I will say, you know, so maybe, yeah, but I still give it 2 thumbs up because I am hopeful this season 2.
Well, they need
come.
you, Tats.
Yeah.
They need your
I
positivity.
know.
Do we think they're gonna do a season 2? Has there anything like I don't know. If the reviews are not that good,
I know, because I had read with some of the directors and writers that they have enough for not even just 2 seasons, but like 3 or 4.
yeah, and
Well,
Apple
like
TV,
they have the material, they have the stories. It's just Apple, are they going to pick them
yeah,
back up?
because Apple TV is rough. They're like if it didn't do well, they drop them. Unless like let's say if they don't want it, maybe Netflix can pick them up or something like that.
Sure.
And when Apple
If
TV
Roadhouse can get a sequel.
yeah, on Amazon
True.
Prime. But Apple TV does renew 2 seasons sometimes if it's really good. Like the morning show after season 1, it got renewed for 2 more seasons right away. But the critics loved the show, you know.
Right.
That's
we
the
loved
thing,
it,
when you
but
have people-
also the critics loved it. So I don't know. It doesn't seem like the critics really like it. If Apple TV doesn't pick it up, maybe another platform.
I could say it's being on like Paramount Plus or
Yeah.
something.
Well, we definitely know that Tats will be watching.
Well, the way that they
watching.
left it, though, I'm kind of
I know,
like,
it just kind of
fuck,
ended
what's
like
gonna
that. And I was
happen?
like, well,
The best time.
so?
'Cause
Of the
What
show.
Laura
happened?
Dern, like the gun was right next to her, so they're gonna think that she
did
did
it.
it.
Yeah, they probably will do. Maybe like they'll probably get renewed for 1 more season, and that's it.
Yeah.
Man, you guys are tough.
We are.
Hey,
We love to judge. This is why we
and
here.
we judge harsh.
Yeah.
We judge
I
our-
see that. I see
Yeah.
that. Well, if you guys ever need like rainbows and sunshine,
Sunshine. Well, that's why we had you come on.
Happy to
We
come
needed
back.
a little bit
We
of-
need a balance. We need a balance.
Yeah.
That's
Needed
why we have
someone
Tats
that's
here.
not bitter like us.
Right. We're 3 bitter bitches.
oh my god,
That's what we should have named this.
Yes.
Right. We should have named it that. That was a good podcast.
You could do a like a prequel
Yeah.
and call it that. There you go.
And then there were 3
bitches.
bitter bitches.
Well, guys,
Well-
thank you
I
for
love it.
listening, and Tats, thank you for joining us today. We
Yes.
loved
For having
having
me.
you.
Thank you, Tats.
We loved having your perspective in it too. It was fresh for us and, different. And that's exactly why we wanted to have you on this episode today.
Thank you.
Guys, subscribe, rate. What else?
And check out Tat's
Follow.
business. Ciao.
Yes. Also,
Yes.
Tats, where
Yes.
can they find you? Where can
Right,
our
tell us.
listeners find you?
You can check out our website at www.chowstudio.co or on Instagram, chowstudio_.
And Ciao is
come check
spelled
us out.
CIAO, right?
Correct, like the
Okay.
Italian way.
Yes, just making that clear.
Love
Yes,
that.
thank you
Yes.
for clarifying.
Okay.
Yeah, she's fancy.
She
so-
is.
Oh, we're fancy.
Check
We're
her out.
Italian. No, we're not. Just a wannabe. Just a wannabe.
We love it here.
Yeah.
I mean, I eat enough pasta. Maybe I'm Italian.
Yeah.
Yes, that
I don't know.
classifies.
Well,
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
this was fun. And if you are a bitter bitch like us, tell your friends, your families, and your loved ones, and the people you hate to come
Yeah.
and listen
Rate,
to us.
review.
Don't comment, like, subscribe, and follow us on
All of
TikTok
it.
and Instagram. We are on social media.
Yep. Well,
Okay.
thank you guys so much for listening. We'll talk to you
Thank
guys
you.
next
We
week.
will talk
Until
soon.
next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.